Okay, so today we are going to talk about the British school system, the state versus the private education and their role in social disparity. The United Kingdom is one of the most privileged education systems in the world, now from its vast national curriculum and the huge variety of institutions, both state and private, making a final decision is very difficult. So the difficulty of choosing again between state and private schools is because the definition of each of one, as well as the difference that characterize them, are difficult to identify. In UK, the term public schools refers to schools that are funded by the government and which consequently offer free education to all pupils. In contrast to these schools, there are also those where fees are paid, namely what is known as independent schools, private schools, and public schools as well. A public school in England or Wales, for example, is a fee-paying school. The term was eventually formalized by the Public Schools Act in 1868, which eventually turned most of the recommendations based on the Clarendon Report of 1864 into law. Independent schools, also known as private schools, are the complete opposite. These are fee-paying schools, usually run by an elected board of governors. And in these schools, students do not need to follow the well-known national curriculum, something that is done in the public schools. Historically, the term private school referred to a private ownership, as opposite as schooling done with possible endowments or financial funds. Many of these independent schools, catering by students between the age of 13 and 18, are very old and extremely exclusive. But in Wales, for example, these type of schools are considered public schools. At the moment, there were about 2,600 independent schools in the UK alone, educating more than 600,000 students. In addition to independent schools charging tuition fees, of course, many of them benefits from numerous donations, gifts, or share events. According to statistics, very well-known statistics, the average annual cost for private education was around £40,000, around £40,000, and £32,000 for boarding schools. In the UK, private schools, although fewer in number compared to state schools, have long played a key role in the UK economy and consequently in the UK society. There is ample scientific evidence to prove that private schools bring significant economy advantage for the future, as individuals learn more and more about the job market and are more likely to get top jobs. In fact, the notion of privilege and success constantly taught in private schools remains a hotly debated political issue. The economic and social backdrop thus becomes super important. Over the years, there has been much talk about wage inequality as well as declines in social mobility in the UK. However, it is not known either private or state schools have contributed to these changes. Private schools tend to have an immense resources and they are very expensive, so that children who are lucky enough to be able to attend them can receive a great education with economic advantages that other institutions are not able to offer. While this may be the perfect plan for private students, these schools end up posing a serious problem for the British educational system and, of course, society. Private schools in Britain are socially exclusive, and there is no sign that the numerous attempts to have this exclusivity by providing scholarships are working. If we were to put a percentage of the number of children who manage to get in this type of schools, we would say around 1%, which is very low. The exclusivity is due to the high fees charge, of course. Studies have said that there are in advantage of studying in a private school in Great Britain, especially when it comes to the world of work. But the social disparity should not be forgotten. Only 9% of the general UK population has a private education, but they end up with extremely high proportion when it comes to positions of public influence, such as executive positions, members of parliament, judges, and many others. This is an actual problem, and part of it comes with private education, and this is something that we need to change. And yeah, it's pretty much it. I hope you guys like it, and yeah.